Good evening and welcome to Channel Yemaswati News. My name is Kanyisile Mabuza. Before we start with our news bulletin, let's take a look at our top stories making headlines this half an hour. His Majesty King Yemaswati III today received the United Kingdom Minister for Africa during a courtesy visit to the BULLETIN Royal Palace. The Mamba clan has disassociated themselves with the social media claims that the country's authorities are imposing themselves into the Mamba matters. And finally, residents of Malinta at Sikupe today blocked the trucks that work for Inyata Construction, demanding the rehabilitation of their damaged dam. The Mamba clan disputes any false claims on social media that their majesties are imposing on the Mamba clan matters. They say they are disassociating themselves with all these social media claims as they are very untrue. We have reports. Before we continue with our news bulletin, viewers at home, I'd like to reiterate the message that we have just seen from Giniwesiva campaign. This is where Yemaswati are encouraged to adhere to all the basic protocols of fighting against the spread of COVID-19. This entails to washing your hands regularly with running water and soap or using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Wear your mask and wear it properly, covering the mouth and the nose. Watch your social distance and also avoid crowds. This is a message from the Ministry of Health, the National Disaster Management Agency, sponsored by UNICEF ESWATINI. And now we shall get into our news bulletin. His Majesty King Yemaswati III today received the United Kingdom Minister for Africa at the BULLETIN Royal Palace during a courtesy visit. We have come to the inevitable end of our news bulletin, but before
His Majesty King Yemaswati III today received the United Minister for Africa, Ms. Vicky Ford, who was accompanied by the resident British Commissioner to the Kingdom of Eswatini, Simon Boyden. Ngwenyama welcomed the minister and her delegation and congratulated her on her new appointment. He wished her well as she embarks on these national assignments to renewing and promoting friendship between Africa and the United Kingdom. The King observed that the British and the Kingdom of Eswatini has been friends for a long time and appreciated the two nations working together even before the country's independence. He alluded to the fact that when Yemaswati wanted their independence from the British, this request was discussed in a very peaceful environment and Britain gladly agreed to their proposal. His Majesty highlighted the significance of dialogue, respect and mutual understanding. He emphasized that dialogue is the key to building a nation. Amongst other issues, His Majesty, the King and the Minister agreed that the United Kingdom deemed it fit to come back to the Kingdom and reopen the High Commission because the two nations have so many things in common. He agreed that the two countries should continue supporting each other, and His Majesty indicated that since the United Kingdom is a developed country, there is a lot that the Kingdom of Eswatini can learn from the British people. His Majesty mentioned that the country's development started when British was supporting Eswatini in various sectors. He said they contributed immensely in the country's economy, political and social development. His Majesty encouraged the minister to invite the business community from the United Kingdom and the European Union to consider the kingdom as their investment destination since it has a good environment for foreign direct investment. Majesty applauded the contribution the United Kingdom has made in the fight against the COVID pandemic. He said the United Kingdom has made strides in the development of the AstraZeneca, thanking the United Kingdom government for their contribution to other health challenges such as HIV and AIDS, TB and malaria. The minister acknowledged that it was important to have the High Commissioner's office in the kingdom because it will promote trade and create job opportunities from Yemaswati. She emphasized on the importance of taking climate change seriously because it has affected many economies of the world already. She noted that the Kingdom of Eswatini, as a developing country, is affected by the effects of climate change. She indicated that the country should continue to support climate change initiatives. The minister highlighted that she is pleased that Yemaswati are vaccinating and encourage more people to vaccinate, since this is the only way to curb the spread of the pandemic so that life can go back to normal. She noted that the pandemic has affected many economies of the world and the social landscape, which has caused untold suffering to many people, and due to the pandemic, companies have closed and people have lost their job. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Mxolisi Mavuso, BULLETIN rural residents.
The Mamba clan disputes any false claims on social media that their majesties are imposing on the Mamba clan matters. They say they are disassociating themselves with all these social media claims as they are very untrue. We have reports.
Indlungulu yakamamba eThengutseni today presented a memo where they appreciated the great support during the unveiling of Umfana Sibonelo Bukhosi Bakamamba. Bukhosi Bakamamba wishes to thank everyone who made their event of unveiling their heir to the Mamba Kingdom throne a success. The memo stated that special thanks goes to all those who contributed materially, financially and otherwise, including all media houses. Indlungulu yakamamba also took the opportunity to sincerely disassociate itself from the unsavory comments perpetuated by descendants who have gone as far as misinforming the global community through social media that their majesties have imposed their authority on Mamba clan matters, where they stated that such disrespect is condemned in the strongest terms. They mentioned that to this end, the Indlungulu yakamamba apologizes sincerely to the office of Ingwenyama Yemaswati. This is a statement from the Indlungulu yakamamba.
The Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Honorable Manguba Khumalo, today in the capital city Mbabane, officially opened a luxury interior house furnishing establishment. This establishment belongs to a Chinese who comes from the Republic of China and Taiwan, and it is located at Quartersville in Mbabane. We have reports.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Senator Manguba Khumalo, today officially opened Luxury Interiors. This is a new shop that specializes in house interiors designs, and it's owned by a Taiwan businesswoman who spent 40 years of her life in the Kingdom of Eswatini. The new shop will be importing some of its raw material, but all the furnitures will be produced locally, which will create new jobs for Yemaswati. The minister committed to the business that Yemaswati will support the new shop.
Noma-ke nakawaseTaiwan kepha watalelwa waphindze kakhulu lakangwane impilo yakhe yonke uyichithe aphila lakangwane. Sibonga lokubona kwekuthi baletha i-furniture nema-fittings ne-interior design lapho khona konke ukuthola ndzawonye. Siyajabula-ke lokubona lokho ukuthi budlelwano bethu nelive laseTaiwan buyaqhubeka buyaqina ikakhulu ekuthengiselaneni, and siyawakhuthaza neMaswati kwekuthi aqhubeke ayisekele le business ngoba neMaswati lamaningi asaqalile athengisa lokho lakwakhabo eTaiwan. Nathi-ke asiqhubeke sibasupporte ngalamagama lamafisha, sicela kubahalasela sibafisele nenhlanhla. Inkosi-ke imbusisi.
Kati Louis, who is the director of the new shop, said all the furniture of the new shop will be of good quality. I'm Kimberly Mavuso for Channel Yemaswati News in Mbabane.
Nedbank today officially presented their Earthwise campaign that is going to be launched soon. This is in conjunction with Water Aid, whereby they prioritize sanitary hygiene in communities all over the Kingdom of Eswatini. The presentation was made official in Mbabane today.
Nedbank, in collaboration with Water Aid Eswatini, today in Mbabane presented a program which is known as Earthwise. Earthwise is meant at conserving the environment by making sure that waste matter is not thrown at places which includes rivers where it can be toxic for people and the environment. Speaking during the presentation of the program, Mrs. Ayanda Dube, who is the leader of Earthwise, stated that Earthwise is a program which is made up of 5 people from Nedbank. She mentioned that their aim is to make sure that people get clean water, without being polluted by waste matter that is drawn from people.
Kulamalanga sinema-surgical mask, phinze futhi kube nema-sanitary pads. Lokhanza ukuthi akalahleki ngendlela lengiyo. Timvo leti sikhande sitigcinela tisemifuleni, tigcinele ticojeni, diseti-contaminate noma setingcolisa lamanti lawa lesiwanathayo.
She mentioned that WaterAid is not the only stakeholder that they work with, as he mentioned that a lot of people are supporting them in the initiative. She further stated that the official launch will be held on the 8th of October 2029, whereby the Minister for Natural Resources, Peter Pembe,
solution.
A representative from WaterAid ESWATINI stated that they are all about making sure that people get clean water and that throwing waste matter in rivers can be toxic to people, especially those who use it for cooking and drinking.
Konza bumcoka bekuthi bonke lalabathintekako lamatiko lathintekako kule ngcinamba lebese igcinela itikhanza inciphisa namanti lahlobile lekufanele sive siphile ngawo asibukeli ke sive sanyalo konje manti kufanele siwacikelele kuze titukulwane netitukulwane tiwathole lamanti lamanengi lakhanzakala ukuthi agcine ayangcoliseka ikakhulu kunawa lamanye lesingawanaki ematete lokhanza ukuthi akusiwe amandla lanakekako kanti manje lamcoka kakhulu ikakhulu even la kangwane lemakhaya la khona takhiwo tethu temanti noma lama water systems over 78% of them athatha emanti awo phasa lamanti laphaselitshe lemhlaba.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Mxolisi Mavuso Mbabane.
Premier Bakeries today made a presentation of a massive donation to BULLETIN High School in the Shiselweni region. This donation is in line with their corporate social responsibility, whereby they left a donation worth over 60,000 emalangeni in building fund as well as a computer and printer machine. We have a report. Premier Bakeries today paid a visit to BULLETIN High School located at Tlatikulu in the Shiselweni region, whereby under their corporate social responsibility, they went to make a donation of a printer and computer. These items cost the company over 22,000 emalangeni. And before actually presenting their donation to the school, they first educated the pupils, the parents and the teachers about Premier, where they stated that it is a mixture of companies, SUP, Mr. Bread, Emandla Mahewu, as well as a milling company that produces flour. Mr. Mfundo Dlamini, who is the sales and marketing manager at Premier Bakeries, stated that their initial donation was just the printer and computer. However, upon arrival, they figured that the school is under construction and therefore left a check of 40,000 emalangeni that is going to go towards the construction and more needs of the school.
angendele decision ukuthi sale nginendela ngale signage athi ke tukaloko ke ngabuka ukuthi ngathi isikole sisakhiwa kukhona lokunye ndawo shoda ngabo sitawusita ngabo kuneke ngikusho ukuthi yini nyalo, but the whole project is sitawuspenda imali enganga 40,000.
The head teacher of BULLETIN High School received the donation and stated that it's going to go a very long way in assisting them, especially since they are trying to improve the education system in their area.
Sekunenge ke njengoba nibona nje ke nabo baya profita lokusidinenge letinto lesitidzingako sisikolo ngoba isikolo masisaqala nje vele kuba kunenge lesidingako. Sibonga kakhulu nje kwazi ukuthi kunganza lenikwentako ku multiply each time nisebenta iproduction yenu iphinzaphinzeke. Nana nathi siyethembisa ke ukuthi siyawushumayela ukuthi sinkwalesidiwako ngiso lesi sibona lamuhla lesesatiko lokuthi sibuya kuphi.
Everyone who was in the premises, pupils, parents, as well as teachers, all received gifts of bread as well as other bakery produce that Premier Bakeries actually bake. I'm Kanyisile Mambuza for Channel Yemaswati News, Mbateni.
Sekubona nje waphethwa mhla 3 October ngesonto kaMprofethi Metobi yebo yi-Healing and Deliverance Service lenemandla kabi. UMprofethi Metobi utabe aphasive le oil yebhizinisi yemali nenhlanhla mahala wakho kuphatha sikhoboto lesincane umnikelo wanenkonzo ngu-7 emalangeni sikhathi ngo-10 o'clock ekuseni esigodweni kumathafa. UMprofethi utabe athula ama-oyili ngalokusemthethweni atheze abantu abagulako nabafuna impumelelo kube kabanisha manje kunathithi nombolo.
Mani, khumbula ukuthi kuchawulana nekutsinzana ungathelelana i-COVID-19. Qaphela, khumbula ukuthi kubambelana sinathwa engilasini yinye nakho kungathelelana i-COVID-19. Ungaqhubeki, khumbula kuvikela labaseceleni kwakho ngekuthindelela ingoselo. Bagcini besive, asende kuhamba ngemigomo ekuvikela i-COVID-19. Indlela lensha yethu sonke kuphila kude sidinge siphephile kanye nesive sonke asikhumbutane njalo ngalesikutshelwa litiko letempilo nge-COVID-19. Asikwende konke, gcoka sifonyo, geza tandla ngensipho namanti lahambako, gcina umkhathi uphindze ugweme ticubu. Mgcini wesive, ungapheli mandla i-COVID ingakapheli.
Nzengo lephasi kunayo yonke velonke. Fika utoti tapela tihlahla tetselo nalokunye lokunyenti. Utawutfola nako konke lotakudzinga umulima. Ngishona organic fertilizer lombala lofaka ekhatsi iBioBiz Bloom, BioBiz Grow, neBioBiz Fish Mix, high grade seeds and fruit trees. Ukwethembisa impatho yelikhetselo. Sivakashele lamuhla. Silapha ngasesiteshini eTeteni. Ku-highway letsi Manzini Mbabane. Shayela dzine ku-2518-9361 noma uthi WhatsApp ku-7804-877. High grade seeds and fruit trees for all your agricultural supplies.
Renault Hire Services. Leave your refrigeration and freezer services, electrical installations, and repairing of electrical systems. We repair and install electrical stoves, microwaves, refrigerators, and automatic air conditioners. We also do preventative maintenance, buy and sell second-hand fridges, do steel welding, and aluminium doors and windows. Find us in Manzini Fairview, Gatwala, next to Makolweni Complex, or call us on 7629-2742 or 7929-2742.
Programming changes this October on channel Yemaswati. Catch your answers to health matters every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Do you have drama in your life? Well, catch the Indian drama from Monday to Thursday at 6 p.m. Watch Women-in-Law ESWATINI every Thursday at 2 p.m. to get eye-opening topics on gender equality and more. Catch the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Get the latest fashion trends and music news on our new program What's Cutting every Saturday at 8 p.m. Watch our classic show Kongo every Friday at 9 p.m. Continue watching channel Yemaswati, Sonke Skati.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. I'd also like to take this opportunity and welcome all of our viewers who have just tuned into channel Yemaswati. And now we shall continue with our news bulletin. Residents of Sikupe at Malinza today blocked traffic where they were blocking trucks belonging to Inyati Construction. This was in demand of the rehabilitation of their damaged dam, which they claim is as a result of the heavy trucks and plants and machinery that Inyati contractors use to work around their area.
The resident of Ndandweni in Malinza today demonstrated against Inyati by blocking their trucks from doing their day-to-day operations in the area. The community blames Inyati for allegedly blocking streams to their dam and letting soil to be filled in the dam, which has resulted to the dam failing to harvest water. This has left their livestock vulnerable and can no longer go to a deep tank because there's no more water.
Uhamba etikwehlahla lebevele tikhoya lamhlanje thina lesicela kusicela kanye sathi sicela basikhiphele imap uqala kusenga kusetela umgwaqo sitobona ukuthi kutovele sibakhombe ukuthi la nasihlahla emanti bekahamba agcinela bangafuni ukusinika lokho lamuhla siyabatshelile ukuthi lesive sithathe action lamhla ke sive sidine sasehlula thina sayithatha action kungako nje kuvola umgwaqo sizathu atsagezi inkomo atsanathi inkomo kuthi umuntu sekakhona kuphila la sathi abasigubhele bathi batasigubhela ngala bagcina bahambe etoti lamhla mbambo uthi yena kuthi into leya ngayena sizathu indzaba emgwaqo yaphela 2015
babe ngamafisha uthi lapha lesimikhona la funa ngabe kume emandi
la konke lo mgwaqo nje lona lo mgwaqo nje lo hamba enkelepo la kuze kuthi sikhone noma ngangibani akhone kubona sicela le map lesikhathi kusethe lo mgwaqo lo siyayicela le map sikhone kuyibuka sizathu nemiti lethite yabhadalwa sive ukuthi la le nkelepo lena ayizange ibhadalwa njani nangabe kuthiwa noma ke ayithinzeka kanjani kodwa imiti lengetulu lengale kwalo nkelepo yathinzeka. Lenkelephu ayithinzeki njani
lenkelephu nabafuna bayigubhe kabusha sicela bayigubhe kabusha lenkelephu lesibe nenkelephu nathi nje inkomo takithi nathi tufuna kutonatha kude manje nathi inkomo nathi takithi inkomo lethu solokusile tivaleleke lapha ekhaya kude manje atigeze makhatala timani sende hulumende usicabangela njani ngoba hulumende phela umgwaqo wethu lo nathi hulumende wethu akasasicabangele kususo wonke lamatshe la kugujule lenkelephu bebusha lesifile ngicinge ema-ofisini akanyathi onke malanga baphoka usicosha.
Yemaswati channel did try to contact Inyati, but they failed. For Yemaswati channel, I'm Gary Carlos, Ndandweni, Malinza.
A house was burnt to ashes at Mahlabatini in Matapa today. It is said that this house belongs to a lady who is mentally unstable. It is also reported that neighbors had to assist in killing the flame because the fire truck could not penetrate into the location. We have a report.
The one-room house at Mahlabatini was burnt to ashes and nothing left behind. A 32-year-old lady was staying in the house by the name of Mashadora. It is said that the lady has mental sickness and the lady was not burnt much except that she inhaled too much smoke. Magenom Samatunjwa elaborates. The youth of Mahlabatini has volunteered to build the house for the lady only if they can get the material to do it.
Nangifika la khaze abantu bagcwele lonke lelikhaya bafana naba sebabalekela kushuthwa nje ngabo lengibakhaze bakha emandi lapha kamakhelwane ngoba kude emandi kulelikhaya leli nangikhaze abantu bagcwele ngaqhubeka ukuthi mina ngibacishise kwacisha nakucishwa lapho kwathiwa lo muntu kumele athwalwe ahambe aye esibhedlela kunekhumbi yakafaya la imoto kafaya ayikhoni kungena lapha ekucaleni
akalimalini kakhulu sisi
lo ngona akalimali kangako ngangithe ngathi ngoba sifike beke ushadwe luphe eNazarene lo ngona abekhala ngako la indlela lapha ekhwehlela athi uhishwe indfuthu kanti umuntu vele lo gulako.
Bantfu labasha basemahlabathini bathide bayatinikela ukuthi batawumakhela lodzadze indlu kuphela nje
ukuthi yala emahlabathini sitatinikela ngemandla ethu onke into sicela kuyinye longasita ngematerial yekumakhela ngoba nyana smart utawuphuma esibhedlela utawubheka sine sitatinikela ngemandla ethu onke.
Those that can be able to assist can call 7617-9514 or 7851-5016. Reporting for Yemaswati channel, I am Nhlanhla Twala at Matapa.
Residents neighboring the Mbabane Government Hospital today revealed to Channel Yemaswati that they are very concerned about the hazardous waste that the hospital actually excretes. They stated that it spends long periods of time without being disposed and they fear for their health and safety.
People who are living next to Mbabane Government Hospital today who remained anonymous stated during an interview with our reporters that they are not very happy with the administration of Mbabane hospitals. They mentioned that there is waste matter that is very dangerous that is kept near their houses, which is supposed to be burnt as soon as it is discharged in that area. They mentioned that the waste matter includes blood and some samples which they believe that they are infected by COVID-19, something they said that it is very harmful to them. They mentioned that the waste matter that is kept next to their houses have a very strong smell, something they said that it is unhealthy for them and their children.
Siyanuka nekunuka sibomakhelwane asikhoni kubahlali balendzawo asikhoni kokuthi singaphila kulesimo letibi tiyingoti kakhulu but ke letibi solo tihleti la inyanga yonke solo tiyasinukela so asisakhoni kokuthi singaphila sithini. Le tibi tiyashiswa onke malanga natifika kude tiyashiswa ukhanza kude tibi but nyalo sekunesikhathi lesithe lesiye senyangeni selokude ngiko ke tihle tikhona la nasomphelwane tibi letingoti lokhanza ukuthi tinetingadi netibi letiqhamuka ka COVID tibi letiba kanjalo nje letiyingoti vele kuphileni kwethu.
Our reporters then went to Mbabane Government Hospital where they sought for a comment from the administrator. Unfortunately, she was not available and our reporters were told to leave their numbers at the receptionist as they cannot be provided with the administrator's personal number. When compiling this report, our reporters did not get any call from Mbabane Government Hospital. We will continue to follow the story. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Mxolisi Mavuso, Mbabane.
Demanding the rehabilitation of their damaged dam. Thank you very much for staying with us. I do hope you will have a good night, but before I leave you, I'd like to also remind you about the basic. And with that, we have come to the inevitable end of our news bulletin, but before signing out, let's take a look at our top stories making headlines once again. His Majesty King Yemaswati III today received the United Kingdom Minister for Africa during a courtesy visit to the BULLETIN Royal Palace. The Mamba clan has disassociated themselves with the social media claims that the country's authorities are imposing themselves into the Mamba matters. And finally, residents of Malinza at Sikupe today blocked the trucks that work for Inyati Construction, demanding the rehabilitation of their damaged dam. Thank you very much for staying with us. I do hope you will have a good night, but before I leave you, I'd like to also remind you about the basic protocols of fighting against the spread of COVID-19. You're going to see this in a message from the Ministry of Health and the National Disaster Management Agency under the sponsorship of UNICEF ESWATINI. God bless you.